Growing speculation that Meghan Markle went under the knife before her Paris disaster trip designed to traumatize Prince Harry, with that journey through Paris emulating that of
some sort of nose job or plastic surgery. That is a question I have been asking myself after people started to point out that, hey, her nose looks a bit different in her birthday picture.
And of course, I'm no expert on this, but when you look at the before and after images, it starts to become
Meghan's secret procedures were supposed to make her look youthful and polished. Instead, those rare unfiltered pics had her looking like the before photo in her own skincare ad. It's giving Botox fatigue, not royal beauty.
I do have a app where I create my thumbnails that allows me to put images side by side, which I have noticed somebody already stole and posted somewhere else. But anyways, I'm going to show it to you guys. And this little bit here has...
Meghan Markle thought Paris would prove she still mattered, was still beautiful, and could still get attention easily. But when she showed up at the Balenciaga fashion show, everything fell apart. Her new look wasn't amazing, it was worrying. The face that used to photograph beautifully now looked tight, frozen, and hard to recognize.
So different at the Balenciaga show, so I took a closer look. Looking at her appearance from 5 years ago when she was 39.
It started with one leaked photo, then another. No filters, no editing, just the real, unedited truth. That was enough to make the internet explode. The perfect look Meghan worked on for years fell apart in seconds when fans saw the truth behind the good lighting and camera angles.
To them. Now at 44, there is a notable shift in how more youthful her face looks, and it looks significantly more defined and lifted. While weight loss can enhance facial definition.
She looked uneven, her jawline too sharp, and her cheeks strangely hollow. The woman in those photos didn't look like royalty or a Hollywood star. She looked like someone desperately trying to look young and failing badly. The natural beauty that once made headlines was gone. In its place was a face shaped by pressure and worry, not nature.
We're seeing here. I think she's had an upper and lower blepharoplasty and a face and neck lift. The upper eyelids are more on show.
The leaked pictures didn't just show flaws, they showed obsession. The kind that comes from someone scared of being forgotten. For years, Meghan controlled her image perfectly. Every post, every photo, every appearance was planned. But no one can hide forever. Those unfiltered photos destroyed her perfect image, showing the insecurity underneath.
This has been slightly altered, and the earlobe position has changed in position and also how it attaches to the face. You can clearly see she takes great care of her skin and non-surgical modalities.
Plastic surgeons from Europe and America couldn't ignore what they saw. Meghan's face didn't just look refreshed, it looked rebuilt. The balanced features, the skin texture, the changed proportions, everything pointed to surgery.
Important role here in enhancing the overall look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr. Jennifer.
In London, one top surgeon studied the images and spoke honestly. He pointed out the lifted eyes, the tightened jawline, and the pulled neck. These were subtle changes, but impossible to get through skincare or help
enhancing the overall look.
Okay, so he's very clear. So too is Dr. Jennifer Armstrong.
In California, a cosmetic expert said the same thing. Meghan's transformation wasn't natural, it was planned. The refined nose, the lifted lip line, the almond-shaped eyes, all showed careful surgical work, not just healthy living.
Eye shape, her eyes look more open here, and they look more like almond shape or like squinty in the after picture. And I believe that's because
experts even studied tiny details most people would miss. Her earlobe position seemed slightly wrong, a sign often linked to facelift cuts. The skin between her nose and lip looked shorter and stiffer, suggesting a lip lift. It was the kind of change built over months or years through careful, planned surgeries.
Let's see how it looks more squinty. Maybe I take it back, I'm not a fan of your work, but she does look better. Then going down the face.
The evidence was right there all along. Those unfiltered Paris photos ruined everything. Every harsh camera flash and real shot showed what careful editing had hidden. Meghan spent years perfecting her image, but experts exposed what she couldn't filter. A woman rebuilt by insecurity, chasing youth with surgery instead of confidence.
And she's had a rhinoplasty, So do you guys see that this is wider here and narrower here, and you can see more?
This wasn't a sudden change. It was a slow, planned makeover happening for years. Meghan Markle's face has always changed along with her goals. Every new job, every makeover came with a slightly new version of her. What the Paris photos showed was just the latest step in a pattern that's been there all along.
App where I create my thumbnails that allows me to put images side by side, which I have noticed somebody already stole and posted somewhere else. But anyways, I'm going to show it to you guys. And this little bit here has seemingly...
Early photos from her 20s showed a softer, rounder look. Fuller cheeks, a wider nose, and natural freckles gave her a warm, friendly glow. But by the time she became famous on Suits, her features had sharpened. Her nose was more refined. Her chin subtly shaped, her teeth super white. It wasn't dramatic enough to shock people back then, but the difference was clear to anyone paying attention.
Find the bridge here, where the bridge here, it starts narrow and it goes big like this, and here it's like narrow all the way down. It has more structure, that's what I'm trying to say. So if you look at her...
Hollywood insiders whispered about small surgeries. A nose job here, a little filler there, all part of her climb from TV actress to global style icon. When Meghan became royal, the transformation continued. The Hollywood bombshell look disappeared. In came the polished Duchess look simple, elegant, but impossibly perfect.
This hat, you can see a little bit of a tear trough here. And what I would do is just do like a tiny little drop there. But here it's...
Even her skin tone and texture changed with her image. The freckles she once showed off in photos quietly disappeared, replaced by airbrushed perfection. Each phase of her career needed a new face, and Meghan delivered, reshaping herself. Like a product relaunch every few years, her beauty wasn't changing naturally. It was being edited, sculpted, and sold piece by piece.
Do you see this? Where in the before picture she doesn't have that. Now let's go down to the lips. So here we see a longer distance from the bottom of the nose to the top of the lip.
Something about Meghan's new face screams urgency. The kind of change that comes from panic, not confidence. After years of careful branding, her empire has started falling apart slowly.
And I think a little bit of lip filler. We see more of the pink. Do you guys see that? More of the pink of the upper lip, where here it kind of like slopes down. You kind of...
The podcast deal? Gone. The Netflix excitement? Gone. The glamorous projects that once made her a Hollywood favorite have turned into dead ends. Her name, once powerful enough to get attention, has lost its shine.
But forget about that. Look at her chin. Look how wide it is. Wow, that's wide compared to the before picture. Very narrow, pointier, right?
When the world stops watching, Meghan doesn't sit quietly. She changes direction. This latest transformation wasn't about vanity. It was about survival. Reinventing herself has always been her main tool. This time, she aimed for high fashion, the Paris runway, the designer crowd, the polished elite she's always wanted to...
Wide square.
So, Angela Levin, no, this is not my area of expertise, but you have been looking into this for some time, and you believe it is true that Meghan Markle has gone under the knife.
But instead of a rebirth, it looked like desperation disguised as confidence. The new face, the exaggerated sharpness, the too smooth skin, it wasn't inspiring. It was uncomfortable to look at. People didn't see a fashion icon. They saw a woman fighting to stay relevant.
You can see because certain things have changed quite significantly, and she's that sort of woman. She's going to do with it. I mean, the easiest one is to talk about teeth. When she was younger, she had gaps.
Behind the scenes, insiders say the fallout was emotional chaos. Meghan reportedly broke down when she saw the unfiltered Paris photos spreading everywhere online.
Give us all a lovely, shiny smile. So that's that. And then, but actually more important again, is the face, of course.
For someone whose image has always been her protection, seeing it fall apart was humiliating. She wanted to look perfect, but what she saw was a stranger staring back. Proof that the control she built her empire on was gone. And for Meghan, losing control means losing everything.
A bridge that was too defined. So they worked on that, and they worked on the side, and all of the freckles which they used, the skin looked flawless.
If there's one thing Meghan understands, it's timing. and her Paris Fashion Week debut wasn't random. She picked Balenciaga, a brand still recovering from its own scandal, for a reason. In her mind, controversy equals attention. Joining with a major brand, even one with problems, could give her the attention she craved.
This was a Dr. Motiki who actually wins loads and loads of awards.
But the gamble exploded in her face. Instead of reclaiming her throne, Meghan's Balenciaga moment became an online circus. That white, oversized wrap outfit meant to look cutting-edge came off as chaotic and ridiculous. It didn't make her new look better, it made it worse. The harsh lighting, the slicked-back hair, the forced smile, it all looked frantic, not stylish.
20 and 30, she had definitely a nose job, and that made it smaller and neater, and so she was pleased with that. But
Social media had a field day. Within hours, she was trending, but for all the wrong reasons. People compared her to everything from a paper towel roll to a runaway ghost. The jokes were merciless, and every picture from that night became proof of how out of touch she's become.
her bosoms, her breasts, and that she did plant them. We saw it when she was...
The worst part? The outfit wasn't even the problem. It was her energy, the forced confidence, the empty smile, the desperate need to belong in a world that doesn't want her anymore. Balenciaga didn't lift Meghan up, it exposed her. What she thought would be her high-fashion comeback turned into the most embarrassing moment of her post-royal career.
Very sort of trying to get into the world of being a success. And she had implants on her breast, she says.
The irony was almost too much. After years of preaching about needing privacy and criticizing British newspapers for invading her space, Meghan Markle's Paris stunt made that whole story look like a joke. Her team's favorite news outlet even ran the ridiculous headline, "Meghan Markle quietly attends Balenciaga show." Quietly. There was nothing quiet about it.
Too big. Apparently, it's not something I know for myself here, that it's very easy to take them out. And that's what she wanted, because, you know, I've seen when she's very flat.
Every step of that trip was planned. From the five-star hotel accidentally leaked online to her seat at the show, everything screamed planned publicity. The paparazzi didn't just show up, they were tipped off. Multiple news outlets were conveniently alerted, making sure that Meghan's big low-key return would be in headlines within hours.
Like big breasts, when she was doing things like opening boxes and smiling at people and trying to sell lots of money. But, you know, now...
For someone who built a brand on escaping toxic fame, she looked pretty comfortable enjoying it again. The staged spontaneity was see-through. A woman who once sued newspapers for invading her privacy was now turning her own life into a glossy public show.